Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 1 of our Aston Martin DB5 from Revell. Stick around, this is going to be great. This is a Revell Easy Click, and let me get the guys out of the way here. And and we'll talk about I got done here. It says Easy Click. Even Angry Spock stopped over today. And it says it's for like 10 and above. This won't be a good kit for like a beginner. Just because there's some things that I had to do today that, I don't know. So if you're going to give this as a kit, like as a present to somebody that's new into it, they might have a little bit of struggles. But it is a nice kit. Right off the bat, the front suspension and everything looks really nice. It is turnable. It paints weird, but we'll get into that in a second. In order to get this to fit on this side, I had to snip a piece of over mold, I guess you would call it, off of the spindle and actually drill the hole down in there for the spindle. It was like a pilot hole was there, but not very deep, so I had to drill it deeper and bigger around just so that spindle would be able, so this piece on the top would fit into that spindle. There was no, it would not go. It wasn't made, it's just too big. So there was that. And then just little fitment stuff that needs worked on that, I don't know, a new modeler is going to struggle with. Especially a 10-year-old that, I mean, working with an X-Acto blade backwards and things like that, it's just going to be tough. But with some help, like if you wanted to get it and work through it with them, this would be a really fun kit to do. Everything looks really good. It paints up nice. The paint colors I chose were pretty good. It only calls for 5 colors of paint, and I mentioned this in the unboxing, but if you didn't watch the unboxing, what I'm using is Tamiya's German Gray XF63. I'm using Tamiya's Flat Aluminum XF16. I'm using Tamiya's NATO Brown, which is XF, that's hard to say, XF68. I'm using Clear Orange, which is X26, and I'm using Clear Red, X27. They call out for Revell colors, and those are the best matches I could find for them, and I think it does pretty good. The mold, or the plastic, is kind of like, it's soft, almost like not rubbery, but it's not hard plastic like you're used to building a kit. It's hard to describe. It doesn't like Tamiya paint that well. I am able to get it on there without priming what I have to do because, face it, a lot of this, it doesn't get paint. But you have to work at it a little bit. It just, I feel like I'm putting on a lot more paint than I normally would, especially with the flat aluminum. Everything else seems to be okay, but the flat aluminum just does not want to stick very well to this, which is okay. I mean, I worked it out. It went on there. It looks all right. But again, I'm building this straight by the directions. So anywhere that there is something painted, it says it in the directions to paint it, except for this hose right here. And I went from doing this one, looked up, saw that, and I painted that, and then realized it didn't call it out for it. So that's all right. It looks okay. I haven't used anything other than what they've asked as far as paint, or as far as doing anything other than that one spindle over here needed a lot of attention. It took me a while to get that in. And some things are pretty dang tight to fit. I've opened up a few holes just to make sure I'm not snapping things off. But alignment drops right in. Since I'm not painting this, like I would, you prime it, paint it, and go to town. Because this, I think if you were going to paint this car with Tamiya paints, you'd want to prime it with Tamiya primer first, just because of the way I see it taking a brush paint. It just doesn't like it that well. But other things, they're not calling for the seats themselves to be painted, so I'm not going to paint them, but they got a weird place for that mold injection line. And it's going to show, and I know it's going to show, but it is what it is. I'm doing this just, as a like a test piece to see if I can do this with the grandkids or not, and if it'd be worth it for it, because the kids aren't really that cheap. But if the grandkids could have a fun and like a week's worth of play here and there, I'm all good for that. So not too much on the inside, just your engine. But on the other side, like I said, it looks pretty good. And I didn't do any panel lining here either. Not yet. I'm going to, though, just because I have to use panel liner. But there's the underside of it. And like I said, it did come out pretty good. And then, just a little bit of things here that would make it very hard for a new modeler with small hands to do. But there's that. I showed you the seats. The only thing they needed painted was the little chrome piece on the side. They snap together real well in the back, and they'll just click right down into the chassis. So speaking of that, we'll segue right into the chassis, or into the interior. This is the German gray for the base and up on top here, and I'm figuring that's carpet. So I honestly tried to show a little bit of brush strokes, just to give it a little bit of, not perfect. I'm looking through the camera here on my phone, and it's showing it a lot worse than it really is. It looks a lot more like carpet than it does long, streaky, bright, and shiny and not shiny. It's not. It's all pretty well dull, and it looks a lot more like carpet than what you're seeing through the camera. But there's the chassis, and that's all I had to do so far was that. These are just going to snap right into place. I'm afraid to do it right now because I'm afraid it'll never come back apart. So there's the chassis and the interior. We'll jump over. This took me probably more time than anything else, was the dashboard. Now, the decals are still, I have the, and it even called for using it, so it's not like I cheated, but it called for the Revell version, and I'm using Microsol to set the decals in place, and they're still not all the way dry. But I'm going to call it not cheating. If you look at the wood grain on the steering wheel, what I did, and they give you the paint, it tells you to paint the outer ring, the brown. So I did, but I painted it real light and let a lot of the black shine through, and then came back with the clear orange and made it look wood grain. And I don't think that's cheating too bad. I mean, I did the orange instead, but I think it looks really good. And there's a decal that go in the center here. I'll drop that in after this orange dries all the way. It's still probably a little bit tacky. And what they have you do is behind all the gauges, they have you paint the rings and the centers silver. And then when you lay the gauges down, they kind of form fit in there. And man, I'm telling you, I'll bring this up close. I think it looks pretty darn good. There's a decal that goes around the glove box. Not sure, I can't remember what they call a glove box in England, but there's a decal that goes around there that I didn't put in, and I'm not going to put it on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my pen and do that. And I would show the kids how to do that anyhow. But that decal I know is just going to fold over and it's just going to look bad. And I know the kids would struggle with it anyhow. So there's no sense in that. But all in all, nice looking dashboard. Everything's kind of cruising. This is going to be a very quick video, but I'm halfway through, and I promised I would stop halfway through and do one, and then I'll do a finale. Here's our door panels. All they needed was this piece painted chrome. There's a telephone in there, and I put it in. I don't ever remember him using it in Goldfinger, but I think that he used it in Thunderball when he was talking to somebody about what he saw on the radar for the car the Lincoln that ended up getting cubed. And I think it's been a while. I tried to bring Thunderball up down here and I couldn't. But here's the other door panel. Not too bad. This is a decal. And again, I got the setting solution on it. I did poke a couple of holes around the little studs here, so it should form fit around them. It's still pretty wet. Well, there's that. And then I'll show you this and I'll let you go. Because I told you I can't, well, here, first thing, here's the center column open with all the buttons painted. Like I said, and I thought when I looked at it real quick, this piece right here should be one piece, and it should be brass, but it kind of looked like a little shifter, and I can't remember what it was for. But then all these are right. Pretty much everything else seems to be pretty right on rain with everything. You know, it's looking good. So, but there's that. Still haven't figured out what this little pin's for. I did do the flipped open shifter. It's got the button on there. I'm trying to get it in focus. It's got the little flipper button for the ejection seat. And I kind of wish this thing had a springed ejection seat. I had a car when I was little that was the James Bond car. And I can't remember if you pushed a bumper or what you did, but the seat would pop out with a little guy in it. And I sure can't remember who made it or where it went for sure. But here we go. I did break the rules here. I went with the panel liner on the grill. I'm going to need another coat, obviously. And then I did it on the spoked rims. I had to. And I would definitely show the kids how to do that anyhow, just because with me, panel liner is what brings everything to life. You know, look at how nice those look. So I didn't feel bad about doing that, because with the kids, I would definitely show them how to do that. It's easy. It's not like something that like wiring the engine or anything. It's not cheating that bad. It's just I'm just putting a little panel liner in there. But there in the grill is good to go. And with that, I'm going to let you go. Like I said, this is a quickie, but there's a lot involved here. This is probably, to be honest with you, 3 hours into this kit. Easy 3 hours in. So if you're going to be doing this with a 10-year-old, you're talking probably 3 days already. And I think I'm to the point where things are going to go a little quicker, but I really think there's probably another 4 hours left to this kit. So I'll drop it all together, and then we'll come back for the finale. So I hope this helps. I hope you see what I was trying to do with this. I know it's not my normal, let's detail the thunder out of it until my eyes bleed, but it's something I wanted to do just for the grandkids. But with that, I'll let you go. Y'all have a great day. A better tomorrow. Thanks for all the subscriptions. We're so close to 5,000 now, it's not even funny. And and I will see you at the finale. So thanks again for watching. Y'all have a great day.